Welcome everybody to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez here for your weekly episodic news show, Behind the Mic, where we cover all the news going on in the wrestling world, primarily the WWE. This is episode number 18 of Behind the Mic. I've got some huge news stories for all of you, but before we get into that, you guys need to make sure to go check out everything else on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, something that you might even call a Behind the Mic, a little extra bit of Behind the Mic. We talked about the nudes, the situation going on with Charlotte. So right there, make sure to go check that out. I believe that was Thursday that I uploaded that video. Thursday or Friday? Thursday, yes, Thursday I uploaded that video. So make sure to go check that video out. Doing pretty well for the small channel that this is. So make sure to go check out the news on Charlotte. It is not here because I just couldn't wait till Saturday to talk about such a big news story. So make sure to go check out the Charlotte video. Also, Monday Night Raw and Smackdown reviews for this week are up, so you can make sure to go check those out if you want to see what I thought about both Raw and Smackdown. And of course, Payback happened just last Sunday, so if you want to go see what I thought of the WWE pay-per-view Payback, make sure to go check that out. All that good stuff on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. You can expect all that good stuff every week, as well as Behind the Mic. We've been doing it for 18 weeks. That equates to 4.5 months. So you make sure to like, make sure to comment, and make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel for all this good bit of stuff over here. So make sure to go do all that good stuff. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I've got news on a lot of things here. What the fuck do I have here? Let's check it out. I've got news on John Cena and the plans for him to return and face the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura. That will be at SummerSlam, so we're going to talk about that. Samoa Joe. News on Samoa Joe, his relationship with Vince McMahon, and he's talking about how he would love to face the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. And we also have some more disappointing news. The Broken Hardy Gimmick might not be coming to the WWE, especially after a shocking move by Impact Wrestling. We're going to talk about that one and how it's pissing me the fuck off, man. We've also got creative plans to break Asuka's undefeated streak revealed. That's a very interesting one right there. We've got the real reason why Alexa Bliss defeated Bayley at WWE Payback. So we've also got an update on that. And a huge story here if you watch NXT, which you all certainly should. A woman has been pulled out of the NXT TakeOver Chicago match, and it's a big name, so we're going to be talking about that. So make sure to stay tuned for everything we've got here, because we're going straight into the news stories. John Cena, return date revealed, and his first feud to be with Shinsuke Nakamura. Wow. Listen to that one, bro. It looks like Smackdown has got the right plans ahead of them. John Cena is currently on a hiatus from WWE due to commitments for Hollywood, but his WWE return has been confirmed only a month removed from WrestleMania 33. The last time the WWE Universe saw John Cena, he got engaged to Nikki Bella on the grandest stage of them all after winning a mixed tag team match against Maurice and The Miz. It was a genuinely happy moment for him to leave WWE fans with for a while. However, he is currently on another hiatus to film a movie, but he felt without there being a confirmed return date, the expectation is Cena would be back on WWE television in a few months. His return to WWE is bound to happen before WWE SummerSlam in August, but WWE fans have been speculating about how long he will be kept off of WWE television. The latest update on his status was nothing more than speculation. In his absence, Shinsuke Nakamura has emerged as the one to fill John Cena's spot on Smackdown, while WWE officials are being hesitant about how they use the King of Strong Style on WWE television. He's not even set to wrestle a match on screen until WWE Backlash. However, Nakamura won't have to carry the load on his own for much longer. Well, he's not carrying it on his own because there's AJ Styles, motherfucker. But that's besides the fucking point. Because the WWE Universe finally has a timetable for John Cena's WWE return. The rumored time frame after WrestleMania for John Cena's return was the WWE Money in the Bank pay-per-view in June. It's now being confirmed that Cena will return to WWE before the pay-per-view. The exact date of his return will likely be announced at WWE Backlash. There's some speculation regarding his next rivalry once Cena is back on WWE television, but the expectation is he'll be involved in the Money in the Bank ladder match, which would add some certain star power to that match. Really, it would. It has been reported that Baron Corbin is the current front runner to walk out of St. Louis with the Money in the Bank briefcase at the pay-per-view. Nothing is confirmed, but it's unlikely that John Cena will win the briefcase himself. However, his next feud will likely come out of that match. Until this report, it wasn't clear when he would return to WWE. Potential creative plans for Cena haven't been a very hot topic over the last month. However, there are only two ways WWE officials are likely to use him. Some people are assuming that Cena will only be back with the company through WWE SummerSlam before taking off again for another project in Hollywood or outside of the WWE. There is no question he will work some big matches, but he will either be challenging for the WWE Championship to break Ric Flair's record, or he'll be working with a young talent. I do not want to see John Cena versus Randy Orton. You can damn fucking sure count on that one. Hell no. Hell no. If we fucking see that, WWE is delusional. There has been some speculation about John Cena facing Shinsuke Nakamura, but that's at WrestleMania 34. That is potentially a year away, but that means it's unlikely the WWE will plan that matchup for SummerSlam if they are indeed planning it for WrestleMania, which I think they should plan it for SummerSlam to solidify Shinsuke Nakamura for WrestleMania, where he will face AJ Styles. But that's my plan. So if we can continue this article here, because it wants to be shitty, and here we are. It's unlikely that WWE officials are planning Cena versus Nakamura for WWE SummerSlam this year. Originally, the plan was to have a huge rivalry with Samoa Joe after his hiatus. For the time being, that can't happen while Joe is on Raw and Cena is on Smackdown Live. It's possible that John Cena could feud with Baron Corbin. That would be fucking fantastic. After he wins the Money in the Bank contracts, he could also have a feud with Jinder Mahal, who is being pushed as a strong mid-card heel now that WWE is looking to expand into India. There's a lot of value in a feud between Cena and Mahal, especially now that the fans have lightened up to Cena. No matter what he's doing, John Cena will be welcomed back with open arms. So what should be the plan for John Cena? There's a lot of speculation to be had here. I say bring him back. You either put him in a feud with Baron Corbin, where Baron Corbin most certainly fucking goes over as the Money in the Bank briefcase winner. That's pretty much solidifying Baron Corbin as your next WWE champion. Or put him against Nakamura. He solidifies Nakamura. What Cena needs to do is put somebody over. Use his momentum to put somebody over. That's all I need to say about this. He needs to put somebody over. And it's either going to be Corbin or Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't want to see Mahal. Mahal, I think, after this WWE Championship feud, is going to fade into obscurity, or they're going to put him in a mid-card feud, and he's going to remain somewhat prominent over the next couple months. Maybe he'll face, or he could have a feud with Nakamura, a small little feud with Nakamura for a month or two. That would be pretty decent. But, I mean, Mahal, I don't want to see it. I don't think that's worth John Cena's time, especially going into what is now the biggest pay-per-view of the year. Mania's over. The Rumble's over. And Survivor Series has been treated like shit over the past couple years. So SummerSlam is your biggest pay-per-view coming up this year. And you want to use it to help your talent advance over the next couple years. And if you're not going to or until the next biggest pay-per-view, which is WrestleMania. So if you're not going to use it to do that, I don't really know what the fuck you're doing. But what I do know is that Cena, if he faces Nakamura, there will be a beautiful match there. If he faces Corbin, there could be an awesome match there. There's a lot of possibilities for what you can do with Cena. I'm locking in Nakamura or Corbin for SummerSlam because there is an opportunity to make a star there. Even though Nakamura's already a star, despite that, there's an opportunity to push his stock even further if he gets a win over Cena. There's a possibility to make a huge star in Baron Corbin. Again, not that Corbin isn't already a star, but he can really do wonders for either Baron Corbin or Shinsuke Nakamura. And if I say that if there is the opportunity to do that, I say you fucking take it. So there you go. That's the latest for John Cena's return. He has an opportunity to do a lot of good. And he's also, if you do put him in the Money in the Bank match, he's going to add a lot of star power and appeal to that matchup. So hopefully Cena comes back before Money in the Bank. Hopefully there's a huge announcement at Backlash that makes that much of a better pay-per-view that Cena is going to be a part of SmackDown over the next couple weeks. So there you go. That's the latest on John Cena. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on. We've got news on the Hardys. It's back and forth every week. There's a news story on the Hardys every single week, and each week it's back and forth. The broken gimmick's coming. The broken gimmick's not. The broken gimmick's coming. The broken gimmick's not. But, I mean, this is some legitimate shit we've got over here because it's coming from Rebby Hardy herself. Let's discuss this news story. Ever since the return of the Hardy Boys, the WWE Universe has been waiting for the broken gimmick to debut on the show. However, if the latest WWE rumors are to be believed, that might never happen. It has been widely reported that the company was trying to negotiate a deal with TNA, who owns the rights to the broken characters, and that was reported by me last week on Behind the Mic. Now we're reporting that it's not going to happen. The latest report suggests that TNA Entertainment filed for new trademarks on the broken characters, as reported by PW Insider. It was filed to register Broken Matt, Brother Nero, Broken Brilliance, and Vanguard 1. This has been done for the sake of ongoing wrestling exhibitions. This would allow TNA to use the broken gimmick on other wrestlers too. The news has shaken up wrestling fans and left them baffled, as it is impossible to understand what benefits TNA could have from these trademarks, which is very true. What the fuck is TNA going to do with a broken trademark? Legally speaking, they would own the rights to the broken gimmick, and they could use it on other performers. Although unlikely, Impact Wrestling could introduce other broken characters, such as Broken Sanjay and Broken Robbie E. Even before the Hardy Boys returned to WWE, there was a bitter legal battle, if I can fucking speak here, a bitter legal battle between the Hardy Boys and TNA, with the latter insisting that they own the gimmick and should be paid for using it elsewhere, which they fucking don't. After Matt and Jeff joined WWE, there have been ongoing negotiations between TNA and WWE for the usage of the Broken Gimmick. Surprisingly, there have been several signs that the Broken Universe was debuting on WWE. Matt Hardy has used several moves from his earlier gimmick, and Twitter posting also point towards the Broken Gimmick. The audiences have also cheered every entrance of the Hardys with the chance of delete. So I don't know what the fuck is going on there. There have also been speculations that the deal was through and Matt Hardy will soon debut the much loved gimmick. However, Matt's wife, Rebby Hardy, had outright denied the deal was completed. She said via tweet, quote, "No, absolutely none. The fact that this is even a rumor is such a joke." She went even further and blamed the Impact executive producer Jeff Jarrett for the false leaks. The only logical explanation at this point is that TNA wants to further strengthen its negotiating power. What the fuck is wrong with me? But negotiating power by acquiring fresh trademarks over the broken characters. Armed with the new trademarks, they would be in a better position to demand more money from the WWE. The question now is that will the company pay more to TNA? WWE rumors have earlier suggested that Vince McMahon is not a fan of the Broken Gimmick and wanted to re-sign only Jeff before their new gimmick became wildly popular, as reported by Sportskeeda, which Sportskeeda is really full of shit, and I wouldn't believe that for a second. Jeff was seen as a potential opponent for Lesnar with the Universal Championship on the line. I reported that a couple weeks back. I believe it was 2 weeks back. If TNA demands exorbitant money, yes, that's what that fucking says, there is a possibility that Vince may refuse it. The Hardy Boys invented the gimmick and made it popular with their continuous efforts when they were with Impact Wrestling. However, if the deal does not materialize, they may be unable to use the Broken Gimmick ever, and fans will never see the Broken Hardys again. It has been speculated that WWE is also working on an alternative storyline for Jeff and Matt. Notably, Jeff Hardy was the second best merchandise seller before his departure back in 2009. If the deal with TNA does not work out, Jeff will receive a massive babyface run and may challenge Brock Lesnar for the championship. This would lead to massive sales of the merchandise before the pay-per-view event. Matt, on the other hand, might not even receive as such a big push, which would be so fucking shitty. What do you think TNA is planning to do with the new trademarks? Will the WWE Universe ever see the Broken Hardys again? Let us know. So, I'll let you know, motherfucker. I'll let you fucking know. We should be seeing the Broken Gimmick again in the WWE. By all fucking definitions of the word, we should be seeing the Hardys broken once more. But if TNA is going to continue doing this, and I could tell that TNA is trying to milk this situation as much as they can. I mean, they need to, bro. They need to look. They're a fucking floundering company. They're floundering. All their talent is fucking leaving. WWE is really raiding all their talent. Look, Drew McIntyre is back in the WWE. The Hardys are back in the WWE. Mike Bennett and Maria are gone from the WWE and probably on their way to or they're gone from TNA and they're probably on their way to WWE. TNA needs to milk this situation, bro. But what you're doing is you're turning money to nothing, because I'm sure that Vince McMahon does not want to pay TNA a dime, bro. And he knows that if they go as far with it, that they demand more and more money, and it's more money than Vince McMahon would even profit from the Broken Gimmick. I mean, the amount of profit you can make from the broken gimmick is inevitable. I don't know how much money you can fucking make, but it's going to be a mega fucking ton of money. But still, if TNA panders at WWE too much, you know Vince McMahon ain't going to take bullshit from a competing company. You know Vince McMahon already doesn't like TNA. So, do you really think he's going to take this fucking bullshit? Do you really think a guy like Vince McMahon, who really does not have a lot of patience, is going to take these guys putting in new trademarks and making even more barriers for Vince McMahon to get his hands on the broken gimmick? Vince McMahon doesn't like to jump through hoops. He makes people jump through hoops himself. He is not the hoop jumper. Jesus fucking Christ. He's not the hoop jumper. He's the hoop jumpy. So you're going to fucking try to fucking climb barriers over Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon does not play your fucking game. You play his, if you get what I fucking mean here. So, if TNA is going to continue to push back and push back and push back, and they're going to continue to put a new trademark in and a new trademark in and show this disrespect, I don't know. And that is, if these rumors are even true, maybe there's zero negotiations. Maybe Rebby Hardy is right. Maybe there could be a possibility. There's multiple possibilities here that Rebby Hardy could just be full of shit and lying to make it a surprise when the broken gimmicks do arrive. She can very well be doing that, saying no, that's not going to happen. It's absolutely ridiculous. But at the same time, Rebby does have a history of trashing TNA. She really fucking does. She does not like TNA. And if people are going to come at her saying that the WWE is going as far as to negotiating with TNA, who Rebby Hardy is pissed off at for the very reason that they're taking this broken gimmick that does not belong to them. That is why Rebby Hardy has most of this beef with TNA, because they're taking the broken gimmick and saying that it's theirs. So I don't believe that Rebby Hardy is going to lie about a situation like this, where she has been very adamant about in the past. So I don't know. I really do not know. I really don't. But there is a lot of possibilities here for what the truth can be. These reports that they are in negotiations could be completely false as well. But I mean, we're just going to have to sit and wait. If they do come to the WWE, we're all going to jump out of our seats. We're all going to be happy. If they don't, we're going to be depressed. And what could happen to Matt Hardy in the WWE is very, very unfortunate. You really do have to discuss that possibility that Jeff becomes the megastar that he was back in 06, 07, 08, 09, and Matt Hardy becomes the floundering gimmick that he was in 06, 07, 08, 09. So you really do need to discuss those possibilities. You really do. So I don't know what could happen here. But, I mean, it's just very unfortunate that a deal hasn't been made yet, because WWE knows that we're all waiting for this. They hear the delete chants. They really fucking do. They really, really do. And it's not much longer than we can take. Where wrestling fans are very impatient. It's not much longer that we can take Matt Hardy doing a mix of all his fucking gimmicks. Doing the delete, and then doing the Hardys, and then doing the Matt Hardy version 1. It's just not long that we can take that, man. And soon, something's going to need to be resolved. And if it's not, this could go very, very wrong. For now, let's move on, because I really do not want to discuss this anymore. Just thinking of the fact that Matt Hardy, a couple months ago, was the hottest commodity, the hottest free agent in the wrestling world, just thinking that he can possibly come to the WWE, leave his gimmick behind, and flounder like he used to in the WWE several years back is unfortunate. So let's move on before we start crying thinking of this situation. I've got news on Samoa Joe! Samoa Joe in an interview on Talk is Jericho, and he talked about his relationship with Vince McMahon and his the feud that he wants to have with Brock Lesnar. So let's talk about this one right here. Samoa Joe wrestling inside a WWE ring is something a lot of fans believed wouldn't happen, and now that it has become a reality, the WWE Universe is expecting great things. The fans have high expectations for him because it took him over 15 years to appear on WWE television. After working and succeeding virtually everywhere else in the industry, the WWE Universe was ecstatic when Samoa Joe finally debuted in NXT. He was tremendously successful during his time in NXT, especially because he was brought in specifically to help the brand grow. Joe became the two-time NXT champion and had two historic rivalries with Shinsuke Nakamura and Finn Balor. The WWE Universe waited a long time to move to Raw, for him to move to Raw or Smackdown, because there were and are so many dream matches that the fans have wanted to see for several years. Samoa Joe debuted as the Destroyer on behalf of Triple H and took out Seth Rollins during the post-Royal Rumble edition of Raw. Since then, Joe has been featured as a monster heel and has been feuding with Seth Rollins to the present day. He's just began to scratch the surface as a performer on WWE television, but Joe recently revealed some interesting information about what working for the WWE has been like for him so far. Recently, Samoa Joe returns for his second interview with Y2J on Talk is Jericho. During their interview, Joe revealed some new details about how he came into WWE, his time in NXT, and what it has been like to work for WWE so far. For instance, he revealed that WWE officials explained to him early on that his role was meant to be exclusive to NXT. Joe also said the following about his relationship with Vince McMahon. We haven't really had a sit-down meeting. We talk in passing, and I'm not big on having real long drawn out conversations, and I guess that's to my detriment. I'll show up and be like, hey, what do we need? Alright, cool, I'm out the door. Let's go get it done. I heard if you do have a meeting, 9 times out of 10, it's not a good thing. So that's what Samoa Joe said. Obviously, Vince McMahon can be a hard man to get a hold of, especially if you're someone like Samoa Joe, who has been in the industry for a long time and knows how to make the most out of what he's given. Triple H also seems to be Joe's guy as far as WWE officials are concerned. Yes, almost everybody from NXT, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, these are Triple H guys. Triple H, where am I? Which seems to be the case for many of the performers from NXT. During the interview, Joe also revealed some of his goals to accomplish in WWE. As a lot of people have wanted to see John Cena versus Samoa Joe for a long time. Apparently, their rivalry almost happened at WrestleMania 33. The fans will have to wait, but it's likely that it will happen eventually. A match with Brock Lesnar is also something the fans want to see, which Joe discussed during the interview with Jericho. He said, absolutely, I think, and I've stated it a lot. I think it's something the fans want to see, and I definitely like to get into it with Brock. He's very intense. It has to be believable. I think that's part of it too. The Beast versus the Destroyer is a rivalry that the WWE Universe wants to see because it seems Brock and Joe could have some brutal and intense matches. There are some high expectations for Samoa Joe to succeed in WWE, but he's been a 15-year veteran. His entire WWE career has been building to this time, and Joe will deliver. What do I think about this situation? Samoa Joe is going to be successful. There's no way you can take a guy like Samoa Joe and fuck him up. The booking is simple. This guy is a monster heel, and if you don't plan to take advantage of that, if you don't know how to take advantage of that, you are a complete wad. And you know who's a complete wad? Vince McMahon. You know who's a complete wad? Kevin Dunn. And guess what brand Samoa Joe is on? Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw. And guess who has hands on with those brands the most? Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon, and that is where I am fucking worried. The fact that Samoa Joe has even been pinned to this fucking point is terrible, bro. It's terrible. How long did it take Samoa Joe to take an L in NXT? A whole goddamn year. How long did it take Samoa Joe to get pinned on WWE's main roster? How long? Can you guess? 3 goddamn months. That's how long it fucking took for Samoa Joe to take an L to get pinned to Seth Rollins on WWE's main roster. You're fucking kidding me, bro. You're fucking kidding me. That is 1/4 of the fucking time that it took him to get pinned on NXT. You've got to be fucking kidding me, bro. That is absolutely pathetic, and that's where I am worried about Samoa Joe. You put this guy on Smackdown, he's instant gold. Feuds with Cena, feuds with Nakamura, revisiting his feud with Nakamura, feuds with Zayn, all this amazing fucking shit. Look what he's doing on Raw, getting pinned and being put as an afterthought on Seth Rollins' mind. Seth Rollins came out on Raw prepared to ditch his feud with Samoa Joe after getting a fluke victory over Joe. He's saying, oh, I'm moving on. I want the Universal title. He's ditching Samoa Joe like Samoa Joe's an afterthought. Meanwhile, Samoa Joe has to come out during the main event and attack Rollins. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Are you fucking kidding me? Is Joe an afterthought like that to you? Joe is a legitimate fucking Samoan submission machine. He's a destroyer. He's a fighter, bro. And if you were to put him in a match with Brock Lesnar, Joe is absolutely fucking right. That match would be legitimate, bro. That would be the most legitimate fight Brock Lesnar has had since The Undertaker. And I am serious about that. Samoa Joe, if built correctly, can fucking take Brock Lesnar to a legitimate wrestling fucking match. Something Brock Lesnar hasn't had probably since arriving to the WWE. Probably since facing CM Punk at SummerSlam in 2013, bro. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You're telling me Brock Lesnar hasn't had a legitimate match in that fucking long? That is wrong. That is an L in and of itself. And Samoa Joe, the way Samoa Joe portrays himself, the way Samoa Joe moves in the ring, the way Samoa Joe is on the mic. Imagine a promo between Paul Heyman and Samoa Joe. That would be fucking beautiful. Imagine a match. The Beast versus the Destroyer. It markets itself. And if you want a legitimate match for Brock Lesnar going into SummerSlam, I mean, you're thinking about Jeff Hardy. You're thinking about Seth Rollins. You're thinking about Finn Balor. Fuck that. Fuck that. You need a legitimate challenge for Brock Lesnar. You want to bring a wonderful match, a ass-kicking contest to your main event of SummerSlam, bro? You've got it right in front of your eyes. Samoa Joe went to NXT. You thought it was going to be strictly to NXT. What the fuck did he do? He beat everybody's ass. He had an amazing ass fucking run. He took what he was given and he not only made it good, but he made it great. He made it excellent. Did Samoa Joe. So if you are telling me that this guy is going to come to the main roster and be a mid-card talent, if you're telling me that this guy who has worked his ass off in the wrestling industry for 15 years came to NXT, proved you wrong, and is now on the main roster, has the support of Triple H, if you're telling me that the minute Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn get his hands on him, he becomes the fat slob that they think he is, you're telling me that's what's going to happen? That's going to piss me off, man. Samoa Joe completely deserves, and he would completely tear the fucking house down in a match with Brock Lesnar. He has the in-ring ability, he has the mic skill, he has the legitimacy under him. His reign in NXT was legitimate, and his bring up to the main roster, the things he's been doing so far until that loss to Seth Rollins have been absolutely legitimate. And if Samoa Joe can beat Seth Rollins in their rematch at, I would presume, Extreme Rules, I think that would be fantastic, and you can really do some amazing stuff. Make that a turning point to the Samoa Joe career here in WWE. do some great things with this guy, because if you could put him in the main event of SummerSlam with Brock Lesnar, I could swear to you, bro. I could swear to you that these two would put on the most legitimate fucking contest we've seen in WWE in probably the last 5 to 10 years. I am not fucking kidding about that one. For now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on. Possible plans to break Asuka's undefeated streak have been revealed. For over a year and a half, the Empress of Tomorrow has remained undefeated in NXT and has become the longest reigning NXT champion in the brand's history. She's held the NXT Women's Championship for over a year, but the powers that be may have finally figured out who will be the one to finally give Asuka her first loss and take the title away from her. Rumor has it that those creative plans could happen over the summer. In a few weeks, Asuka will defend the women's title at NXT TakeOver Chicago against Nikki Cross, Ruby Riott, and Ember Moon, which I have news on very, very shortly after this news story here. WWE officials could pull a major swerve and have her drop the NXT Women's title during the match, but the powers that be are likely saving that moment for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 in a few more months. WWE officials will at least want to wait until Asuka's breaks Goldberg's undefeated record, which is very close to being fucking broke. Isn't that crazy, bro? Goldberg's undefeated streak is going to be matched by a woman. That would be fucking hilarious. I mean, I feel like Asuka at this point could go into a fucking ring with Goldberg and demolish him. I'd love to see that shit. Goldberg versus Asuka, and Asuka comes out victorious. That would be a fucking amazing match there. Goldberg's next match, Goldberg versus Asuka. I'm calling it right now, bro. I'm calling it right now. WrestleMania 34. Goldberg versus Asuka. Wow. The Icon versus the Empress of Tomorrow. I'd fucking love to see that, but I mean, that's one for your dreams, bro. That is one for your dreams. Asuka's move to the main roster is only a matter of time, but she will likely drop the championship and put over someone new in NXT before leaving. There is some speculation that Asuka may vacate the title without being defeated and continue her undefeated streak on Raw or Smackdown. However, it seems that WWE officials could have a specific plan for Asuka's undefeated streak to come to an end later this summer. Ooh, what's going on there? Ever since Ember Moon debuted in NXT, the WWE Universe has been speculating with certainty that she'd be the one to defeat Asuka and take the NXT Women's title from her. At NXT TakeOver Orlando, fans were shocked to see her fail to capture the title. Instead, her match was used to push forward a long overdue heel turn for Asuka. I mean, Asuka is pretty much heel. You can fuck off with that one. However, NXT fans still believe that Ember Moon will be the one to defeat Asuka very soon. The biggest reason is Moon has good momentum as the foil to Asuka, and she seems to be the only wrestler in the NXT Women's division that could believably beat her. Nikki Cross, Ruby Riott, and others just do not have the momentum for that win, but WWE officials may not be planning for anyone in NXT to beat Asuka. Recently, WWE officials announced that there would be a massive women's tournament over the summer. The tournament will feature 32 of the top female competitors from around the world. The series will air on the WWE Network, just as the Cruiserweight Classic did last year. Like they did last year, WWE officials are expected to sign several new female talents, which will tie directly into their plans for Asuka's first loss. Wow, look at that. It has been rumored that WWE officials are planning for the eventual winner of the women's tournament to win the NXT Women's Championship or receive a title shot with Asuka at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn this year. Last year, TJ Perkins was crowned the Cruiserweight Championship after winning the Cruiserweight Classic. Tyler Bate became the United Kingdom Champion after winning the UK tournament. This could be the plan for the female winner. WWE officials would need to be sure, because that is a tremendous push to give a debuting WWE superstar, especially a female, taking over the NXT Women's Division overnight. Asuka has dominated NXT for almost 2 years. A new female coming into WWE, winning the tournament, and defeating Asuka is a massive push for anyone to receive. Unfortunately, the 32 participants for the tournament haven't been revealed as of this writing, but WWE fans should be aware of the tournament because it could change everything. What my plan originally was to have Ember Moon face Asuka at NXT TakeOver Chicago, which we're going to see in a couple weeks. I believe it is with Backlash weekend, I believe. So that's fucking cool. But my plan was to have Ember Moon lose to Asuka at Chicago. Once again, Asuka says, I'm done with this fucking bullshit. There is no competition for me on NXT. I've ran through everybody. So you either promote me or I will destroy this fucking women's division from head to toe. Asuka vacates the title and it will be defended over the summer in the 32 women's tournament going on in the summer. Ember Moon enters herself into that tournament, and you build up the regret she has. I never beat Asuka. I never beat Asuka. I never beat Asuka. Asuka goes into the main roster. She fucking dethrones everybody. Money in the Bank, that will be her first pay-per-view. Destroys Mickie James. Mickie James and her have a rematch. Or not, she's gonna go into Smackdown. What the fuck am I saying? She's going into Smackdown. So what the fuck am I saying here? She destroys whoever it may be who's her first opponent. Whether it's Natalya, Naomi, Becky Lynch, anybody destroys that opponent. Runs through the entire women's division week after week on Smackdown, leading you in to SummerSlam, where Charlotte is your women's champion by this point. Charlotte is women's champion. Asuka has been undefeated for 2 fucking years almost at this point. Asuka, Charlotte, SummerSlam. Asuka, the undefeated the undefeated dominant woman in the division. Charlotte, the 5-time women's champion, whatever the fuck you want to say. Charlotte, undefeated for like fucking 20 pay-per-views or some shit. Charlotte, Asuka, SummerSlam. Asuka wins. Asuka holds that title until WrestleMania, because by that time, WrestleMania time, if you want to bring Ember Moon up, the Royal Rumble, Ember Moon has come and gone through NXT. She won that NXT Women's Championship at NXT. She had her reign. You can have Ember Moon even forfeit that title. Say, there's one more thing for me to do. Have her come up to the main roster and face Asuka. You can even have her still be NXT Women's Champion when that time comes. But she does have to forfeit the title later. Just similar to Paige did. To how Paige did. And Ember Moon, she comes up to the main roster saying, I never beat Asuka. I never beat Asuka. I never got my revenge on Asuka. That's the only thing Ember Moon says on her way up to the main roster. I never beat Asuka. Those are the words that ring in her head, that haunt her dreams, because at WrestleMania, you're going to have Ember Moon. Ember Moon's going to run through everybody going towards WrestleMania. She's going to run through Charlotte. She's going to run through Natalya, Tamina, Becky, all this. She's going to run through the SmackDown Women's Division. And at WrestleMania 34, it's going to be Ember Moon. It's going to be Asuka. Ember Moon, she never beat Asuka. Asuka, to this point, is still undefeated. And at WrestleMania 34, with all the marbles on the line, the SmackDown Women's Championship on the line. Matter of fact, by then, I would say merge the two women's divisions. Because, to be honest, how the fuck are you going to build towards WrestleMania a whole nother year with 6 to 7 women in a fucking division? So merge the two women's division. I say unify the two women's fucking titles on Raw and SmackDown. Make it a unified women's title or the Grand Women's Championship or whatever the fuck you want to fucking call it. I don't give a fuck. Make a beautiful title design and make it for all the marbles. Ember Moon, the one who never beat Asuka but ran through everybody else, and Asuka, the one undefeated woman in the WWE. Have Asuka be Ember Moon's only fucking loss, her only loss, and have Ember Moon come to WrestleMania 34 almost a year later after her feud with Asuka started, and she beats Asuka for the first time, wins her women's championship, and finally gets her revenge. Finally, her haunts, her nightmares are gone. That's what I say you make the plan. But there might be a roadblock in those plans. And this is what I'm talking about right here, because we're moving in to the next news story. Ember Moon. Ember freaking Moon. Injured, and removed from the NXT TakeOver Chicago Women's Championship match, which is just absolutely unfortunate. NXT TakeOver Chicago is approaching, and it is creating an opportunity for a new wave of talent to shine for the brand. For the top title, champion Bobby Roode has a tough task of competing against either the returning Hideo Itami or the uprising former Ring of Honor veteran Roderick Strong. Since Roode defeated Shinsuke Nakamura at NXT San Antonio on the eve of the Royal Rumble, he has spent the last few months at the front line, successfully defeating the foes he has faced. In the women's division, Asuka is breaking records of being the longest person who has gone undefeated, which is absolutely crazy. Asuka has been the most dominant name that has stepped into NXT ever since defeating Dana Brooke at NXT TakeOver. Respect, Asuka has plowed over every single opponent that she has faced. Just a few months after her debut, Asuka made it clear that her goal was to be the NXT Women's Champion, and on April 1st, 2016 at NXT TakeOver Dallas, Asuka toppled Bayley to win the NXT Women's Championship. Over a year later, Asuka has been able to beat every single person who has attempted to win the championship. Even the monsters, Nia Jax, before she went up to the main roster, was defeated by Asuka. One person who seemingly had the ability to dethrone Asuka from her status is Ember Moon. Since Moon debuted in NXT at the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2 event on the eve of SummerSlam against Billie Kay, she has plowed through competition in a similar fashion as Asuka. It did not take her long to ascend to the top of the ladder as she became the number one contender for Asuka's Women's Championship and competed against her at NXT TakeOver Orlando. While many felt that Moon would be the best one to beat Asuka, Asuka still managed to leave the match as champion and continue her undefeated streak. Moon had another chance to win the championship as she was in the final 3 of the Women's Battle Royal last week on NXT to determine the new number 1 contendership for the NXT Women's Championship. During the match, Asuka interrupted and took out Moon, as well as the 2 remaining competitors, Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross. William Regal appeared at the end of the attack and scheduled a 4-way match for the championship at the NXT TakeOver Chicago event. However, it appears as if this match will change because the Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that Moon has been pulled from the show and is no longer advertised for it. This confirms recent reports that she was injured wearing a sling at the WWE Performance Center and jeopardizing her status in the match. Cage Side Seats reported that the spot where Asuka threw her out of the ring and she had a very awkward landing may have been displayed as a storyline injury, but it looked very legit, and it might just be legit, which is very, very unfortunate fucking news for Ember Moon. This could have really been a way for her to win the title, but Asuka remaining undefeated, because Ember Moon could have pinned Nikki Cross or Ruby Riott to win the title. Asuka hasn't been pinned. Asuka is still undefeated, and Asuka, everybody just comes out. Everybody just comes out looking legitimate. And I thought that was going to be it, but it's just not the case. Moreover, this may have been the reason why her arm is now in a sling, as she was reported to be crying and in a lot of pain as she went backstage after that segment. Although there was no projection of who was going to win the title match at the NXT TakeOver event, Moon may have been the person who had the best chance of winning due to her momentum in the company being high. It is obvious that WWE is trying to conceal the injury seemingly for the sake of protecting Ember Moon. The state of the NXT Championship is exciting, as such names like Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Liv Morgan, and Sonya Deville are gaining popularity, and Moon cannot afford to be out of action for an extended period of time, as other competitors are waiting to be ascended into higher ranks. So that is very unfortunate for Ember Moon, and that fucking amazing storyline that I just spelled out for you right here on Behind the Mic may be jeopardized because of this injury. That is very unfortunate for Ember Moon, somebody who is looking very promising in the WWE, a great match with Asuka, and the fact that that is no longer going to be the case, it could have very well won the title at Chicago, is very, very, very unfortunate, but it still is going to be an interesting match, even though it is a triple threat, and it's going to be interesting to see how long it's going to take Moon to recover, and how long this is going to affect the women's division. This might even keep Asuka in the NXT women's division for that much longer. So we don't know. There could be benefits out of this, but I don't know. Very unfortunate for Ember Moon to have gone down to injury like this. Damn, is that injury bug a fucking bitch. Let's move on here. On to the final news story here today, and it is about Little Miss Bliss, Alexa Bliss, and the real reason why she took the title off of Bayley at WWE Payback. The WWE Universe was surprised to see Alexa Bliss beat Bayley and become the Raw Women's Champion at WWE Payback, but the reason why WWE officials decided on the title change has now been revealed. It's been reported that the powers that be were struggling to book the finish for Bayley versus Bliss and changed the result of the match several times over the past week. Ultimately, it was decided that Alexa would get the win. WWE officials have pushed Alexa Bliss very strongly on Raw out of the gate, only a few weeks after her move to the brand from Smackdown during the Superstar Shakeup. Alexa came over to Raw already a two-time Smackdown Women's Champion, but she's become the first woman in WWE history to hold the both Raw and SmackDown's Women's Championship for both brands. Not at the same time, of course, but separately. WWE fans were surprised to see her receive that honor over Charlotte Flair. Few WWE superstars have been as successful as Alexa Bliss on the main roster since the brand extension. A lot of people underestimated her initially, but WWE officials are clearly very high on Little Miss Bliss. The WWE Universe is concerned about Bayley losing the title, but she lost it as a way to establish Alexa on Monday Night Raw. Which, is true, but still, my concerns are Bayley versus Sasha at SummerSlam. It's now being reported that WWE officials are determined to make Alexa Bliss the top female heel in Raw Women's Division, especially now that Charlotte Flair has been moved to SmackDown Live. WWE officials made the decision for Bliss to win the Raw Women's title because the event was held in San Jose, which is Bayley's hometown. Recently, WWE officials have had a history of booking the hometown hero to lose. Apparently, Vince McMahon himself believes that beating or humiliating a babyface in their hometown is a perfect way to get heel heat on her rival. That's exactly why Sasha Banks lost the Raw Women's title last year in Boston during the feud with Charlotte. The same logic applied to Alexa Bliss versus Bayley at WWE Payback, and the former walked out of San Jose as the champion. Now Bliss has established herself on Raw overnight. That is absolute bullshit that Vince McMahon has that mentality. That is a terrible fucking mentality to have somebody lose in their hometown. That's fucking bullshit. But Vince McMahon is right, this article says, about a heel gaining more heat after attacking or winning a championship from the hometown hero. However, that booking also does a lot to build sympathy for the babyface. Some WWE fans were concerned that Bayley's title loss was an indication that WWE officials don't believe in her abilities as a top female babyface. The booking logic is saying that creative wants to build her more sympathy. There's still a lot of speculation about Sasha Banks turning heel sooner rather than later. The WWE Universe wants to see the Boss versus Bayley happen at WWE SummerSlam. Recently, Sasha Banks has been building a lot of tension with Alexa Bliss on WWE television and during live events. Banks vs. Bliss could be the plan for the Raw Women's Championship, but Bayley hasn't received her rematch for the championship yet. WWE Extreme Rules is still 4 weeks away, so there's a lot of time to figure out who will challenge Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's title. The powers that be haven't been shy about booking title changes in Raw's Women's division since the branding session. It's possible that Bayley could win the championship back, but the decision will likely depend on what WWE officials are planning for the title at WWE SummerSlam in a few months. If Alexa Bliss continues to impress WWE officials like she has been, she will be right in the mix. What do I say about this? I mean, really, the flip-flop of the Raw Women's Championship has been fucking terrible. Have you seen the statistic? I saw in a comment on a YouTube video that there has been about 55 title changes over the 282 days that we have had a brand extension, which is absolutely embarrassing, and apparently that equates to a title change every 5 fucking days. That is terrible, bro. That is a terrible fucking statistic. The amount of times these titles have changed fucking hands is awful, bro. And the Raw Women's Championship has been the title to change hands most, bro. So, believe me, I don't want the title to change hands, bro. I really don't. But when you have Bayley and Alexa Bliss, or Bayley and Sasha Banks, which is a match we all want to see, a heel Banks versus babyface Bayley, when that's the match we all want to see, I think Bayley has to win it back. I really do. And yes, I get it. You want to solidify Alexa Bliss. You want to have her win it before Charlotte, because you know Charlotte's going to win it sooner or fucking later, though, her Smackdown Women's Championship, and she's also going to hold that honor alongside Alexa Bliss. So I understand where you're coming from, and I understand why Alexa Bliss won. She's certainly fantastic in the ring. The match she had with Bayley was phenomenal, and she deserves all the credit and all the acclaim she's given. But storyline-wise for me, especially if you are building towards Banks versus Bayley, Banks versus Alexa Bliss would be good as well, but Banks versus Bayley really is the money match. We have wanted to see that match in a big money way going into WWE SummerSlam because of what they had at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 1. So I don't know what they are planning, but it's certainly going to be interesting, and that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the real reason why Alexa Bliss won the Women's Championship at Payback. For now, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be all from me, and that has been Behind the Mic episode number 18. Like I said at the beginning of the video, make sure to go check out everything else on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Raw review, Smackdown review for this week are up. Our Payback review from last Sunday is up, and of course, Charlotte nudes leaked video is up on that, about 10 minutes there. So if you don't like the length of Behind the Mic, make sure to go check out that video right there. For now, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to like, make sure to comment, and make sure to subscribe, bro, because it really helps out the channel if you do all that good stuff. So make sure to do all that good stuff and click the notification bar if you want to have the videos show up right on your notifications on your phone. So make sure to go do all that good stuff. And for now, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Joel Perez of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment, and for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video.